with an impressive 0.1 second improvement on their lap time. Keep pushing those limits, Kamikaze 38. Neo Texon and Okayoki 3 have advanced to 5, surpassing Air 14 Suzanne Greenberg. Graining Ep and Naga 77 have climbed to 15, overtaking with Sirius Guy. Katsishuk and Sidrek dropped to P25 with some issues. Schultheis and Le Croissant 1980, now in P2, after overtaking Duff Dad. Duff Dad advances to P3, passing New Texan and Okayoki 3. Dikabot Q.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
One Sirius Guy drops to P23. Mama Hasta and Nukem Bolcom now, at P24 Deporti. Katsishuk and Cedric are making gains, closing in on them by 10.33 seconds. Andreak and El Payo SD are currently neck and neck with Captain Potato for the 10th position. Koki Benenadi, Plasmat Boo 180, Smirky 75 Xbox, and I are in a close battle for the 15th spot. One Sirius Guy is making up ground on Wayne Trey 94 and Sir Ironbot, closing in by 2.3 seconds. Koki Benenati and Plasmat 180 in a Donkervort DDTO are fighting Kamikaze 38 in a Lamborghini Murcielago, Setsby for 16th place. Mama Hasta and Nukembokum have advanced to 22nd, surpassing Katsishuk and Cedric. Katsishuk and Cedric have climbed to 23rd, overtaking the man. Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokum, now comfortably at P21, passing Kazishuk and Sidrik. The latter duo pushing up to P22, overtaking was Sirius Guy. When Sirius Guy and the man are fiercely contesting P23, with the Zenvo Stone against the Porsche 911 997 GT2 RS. Katsishuk and Cedric have advanced to 18th place, surpassing Snaku 515 and Paradox in the process. Katsishuk and Cedric in the McLaren Pone are neck and neck with Kamikaze 38 in the Lamborghini Murcielago Sophie, all fighting hard for the 17th position. A thrilling battle unfolding there. Snako 515, Paradox and Feds are entangled in an intense battle for the 19th position. Snako 515 and Paradox are maneuvering their Ferrari FR 130 Scuderias against Feds in a Pagani Zonda FB. Famaka and Amundsen are now in 7th place after overtaking Air 40 and Susan Greenberg. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 is steadily closing in on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Kilkibinenity in the Donkervort D GTO, Plasma 280 in a Donkervort D GTO, and Feds in a Pagani Zonda F are fiercely contesting for the 18th position. Meanwhile, Feds in the Pagani Zonda F is now in a tense battle with Mama Hasta and Nukimbo King in Ferrari 812, superfast for the 19th spot. The competition is heating up as they navigate the track. Kazishuk and Sidrek are gaining on Quack 32 and Roadhop 29, 389, cutting the difference by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Feds, Mama Hasta and Nukam Bokum are fiercely contesting the 18th place. It's a Pagani Zonda F versus a Ferrari 812 superfast duel. Kadishuk and Cedric have advanced to P12, surpassing Quack 32 and Roadhop 29, 389, in the McLaren Pone vs Ferrari 812 superfast battle. Meanwhile, Winziri's Guy has climbed to P21, overtaking Snaku 515 and Paradox X. Kazishuk and Sidrek have advanced to P11, surpassing Captain Potato from Racing Potatoes. Win Serious Guy now holds P20 after overtaking Kokibaninti and Plasmat 180. Expecting a fierce competition for P20 between Wuzirius Guy in a Zenvo Stone and Kokibaninti, alongside Plasmat 180, in a Donkavort Date DTO. Mama Hasta and Nukembukum have advanced to the 15th place, surpassing Gary No Name. Renanjev and Naga 77 are battling it out with Mama Hasta and Nukimbakum for the 14th position. Gunyab and Naga 77 are in a Lamborghini Huracan Perf, while the Mama Hasta and Nukimbakum are in a Ferrari 812 Superfa. Meanwhile, Feds and Wazirius Guy are fighting for the 19th spot, with Feds in a Pagani Zonda F and Wazirius Guy in the Zenvo Stone. Hey, East West 11, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again, hope you enjoy the race today. Racing car checkered flag. Duff Dad from Team Left for Speed has progressed to P2, surpassing Schultheisis and Lockrosson 1980. Kazashuk and Sidrick have advanced to P10, overtaking Andreas and Alpile SD. Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes is catching up to Andrevake and LSD, narrowing the difference by 4 seconds. Gary No Name is now sitting comfortably in the 15th position, after passing Groenigeb and Naga 77. Snikufa 115 and Paradox have made a move to 21st place, successfully overtaking Koki Binity and Pletum 80. The man has advanced to P23, successfully overtaking Gary No Name in the process. Gary No Name is making moves, climbing up to 22nd place after overtaking Waziria's Guy. Koki Benenity and Plasma 280 are making a strong move, catching up to Waziria's Guy by reducing the gap by 33.3 seconds. They're really putting on the pressure. Famaka, Aminsan, Katsushuk and Sidrek are locked in a fierce battle for the 8th position. Katsushuk and Sidrek have advanced to 8th place, surpassing Famaka and Aminsan that day. The two pairs are now engaged in a fierce battle for the 8th position. Gobardo, Hugard 3, Schultheisis and Lacrosson 1980 are fiercely battling it out for the top spot. Andrejek and El SD have surged to 10th place, successfully overtaking the AI Rafael and Maya in a thrilling battle for the position. The Pagani's on the F is showcasing its power against the Pagani Huayra in this intense competition. Vavifek and Deplorable are making gains on Duff Dad, reducing the distance by 2/3 seconds. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhop 29 389 are now in 11th place after passing Mama Hasta and Nukembokum. Meanwhile, Mama Hasta and Nukambokan have advanced to 12th place, overtaking A. Rafael and Maya de Toro. A. Rafael and Maya are gaining ground on Snuku 515, and Paradox, closing the gap by 26.9 seconds. The man is catching up to Captain Potato, reducing the distance by 44.9 seconds. Schultz, Isis and Lacroixon 1980 have advanced to pole, surpassing Bobardo and Hugard 3 to white. Duff Dad making moves, now in 3rd place after overtaking 4 cars. Vavifek and Deplorably also climbing, now in 4th place after passing 4 cars. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29, 389, closing in on Rizaldi Adha and Woke CB, shrinking the gap by 5.1 seconds. Sneaku 515 and Paradox have made impressive progress, passing 4 cars to secure the 13th position. Airafae and Maya are also on the move, overtaking 4 cars to claim the 14th spot. Feds has advanced to 10th place, successfully overtaking Famaka and Amansan. Bobardo, Hugid 3, Rizaldi Adha, and Wauxi B are fiercely contesting the 7th position. The man has made a significant leap to 19th place, passing Wayne Train 94 and Sir Ironbot. Wayne Train 4 and Sir Ironbot have climbed to 20th place, surpassing Gary No Name. Vavifek and Deplorably now at power, passing Neotexum and Okayoki 3, Bobardo and Hugger 3, advancing to 6, surpassing Greninjib and Nolga 77, Kamikaze 38 catching up with Rizaldiata and Wauk CB, reducing the gap by 230 seconds. Greninjib and Naga 77 have slipped back to 17th place, while Feds dropped to 18. Sneaker 515 and Paradox are on the move, now sitting in 11th, after overtaking Arafale and Maya. Smokey 75 Xbox and Amy are on the move, significantly reducing the distance to Feds by a hopping 47.3 seconds. Famaka and Amansan have made a strong climb to Pate, surpassing Kamikaze 38. It's a tight contest for P9 between Kamikaze 38 in a Lamborghini Murcielago Safety, and Kazashuk and Sidrek in a McLaren Pone. Let's see who emerges victorious in this battle on the track. Schultheis and Lacroixon 1980 are closing in on Air 40 and Susan Greenberg, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Ayerfa Alan Maya have advanced to P11, overtaking Sniku 515, and Paradox. Gary No Name has climbed to P19, surpassing Wazirius Guy. Kamikaze 38 from Wangan Midnight Runners is making moves, closing in on Kazashuk and Cydric by 2.9 seconds. Wunziri's Guy has climbed to P18, passing the competitor from Team Quark Express. Captain Potato in the Ferrari Fate Tributo is fiercely contesting 15, with Mama Hustet and Lucan Bochum in the Ferrari 8-horse Superfast. Meanwhile, the man in the Porsche 911-97 GT2Rs and Gary No Name in the Donkavort DDTO are battling it out for P18. It's getting tight in the midfield as these drivers jockey for position. Kamikaze 38 has slipped back to 16th place. Duff Dad is closing in on Schultheis and Lacroix 1980 by 2.6 seconds. And Rizaldi Ada and Woke CB are making gains on Bobardo and Hugged Free by 4.3 seconds. Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokem now in 14, after passing Captain Potato. Theds from Team No Name Racing climbs to P18, overtaking the man. The man advances to P19, surpassing Wayne Trinanity 4 and Sir Ironbot. Black Duddy 2, Roadhop 29, 389, Mama Hasta, and Nukem Bochum are fiercely contesting the 13th position. Wunzirius Guy has advanced to 22nd place, surpassing Gary No Name. Rizaldi Ada, Welk CB, Famaka and Amundsen are in a tight fight for 7th place. Famaka, Amundsen, Kazashuk and Cedric are battling it out for the 8th spot. Smoky 75 Xbox and Amy have made progress, now sitting comfortably in 20th place after passing Wayne Trey 94 and Sir Ironbot. Kadishuk and Cydric making a bold move, now in 8th place after surpassing Famaka and Amundsen. The battle for 8th is heating up between Kazashuk and Cydric, and Famaka and Amundsen. Over at 19th position, the competition is tight between the man from Team Quark Express, Smoky 75 Xbox, and myself. Exciting stuff with different car models in play. A Porsche 911, 997 GT2 RS, an Aston Martin Vantage 18, and my Lamborghini Diablo 7 Orsi. Galvez has advanced to 17th place, successfully overtaking Kamikaze 38 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners. Reninia Benalga 77 have advanced to 15th place, passing Sniku 515 and Paradox in the process. Amy and Smokey 75 Xbox are on the move, advancing to 18th place by overtaking Snikoof 115 and Paradox Dit. Meanwhile, Wainter 94 and Sir Ironbot are making gains too, climbing to 20th place by passing the man. Neo Texan and Okayoki 3 are currently fighting with Bobardo and Hugger 3 for the 5th position. Risaldi Adha, Wauk CB, Famaka, and Ayman San are locked in a tight battle for the 8th spot. Unzerius Guys progressed to 20th place, passing Gary No Name in the process. Koki Bananity and Plasmid 80 are rapidly catching up to Wayne Trainany 4 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 46.2 seconds. Galvez has advanced to the 15th position after passing Kamikaze 38. Kamikaze 38 has made a move up to 16th place, overtaking Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes. Sniku 515 and Paradox are making a strong push, narrowing the distance to Captain Potato from Racing Potatoes by 44.7 seconds. Andre Aikna PyOSD have made a significant move, now in 10th place after overtaking Rafael and Maya Daptot. The battle for 12th place is heating up between Quack Duddy 2, Roadhog 29,389, Mama Hasta, and Nukem Bokum Bottom. Shotai Sanakrason 1980 have taken the lead, surpassing Air 40 and Susan Greenberg. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29, 389 are now in 11th place after overtaking Mama Hasta and Nukembo Kendall. Mama Hasta and Nukembokum climbed to 12th place, passing Rafael and Maya in the standings. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 are hunting down Kazushuk and Cydric, narrowing the gap by 11.2 seconds. Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy are closing in on Raphael and Maya, reducing the gap by 6.7 seconds. Duff Dare has swiftly taken the lead, surpassing Vavithek and Deplorably Apple. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 make a strong move up to 6th place, passing Kazushuk and Cydric. Andreaik and El Pio SD also clung to 8th, overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Wauxi B. Rizaldi Adha and Wauxi B are locked in a tight battle with Famaka and Amundsen for the 9th position. Unzerius Guy is now just behind Snuku 515 in Paradox, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Gary No Name is steadily gaining on Wazirius Guy, reducing the gap by 3.6 seconds. The Man, Koki Baninity, and Plasmat 180 are fiercely contesting the 22nd position, with the Man in a Porsche 911 97 GT2Rs and Koki Baninity and Plasmat 280, both driving a Donkavort Date DTO. Rizaldi Adha and Weil CB now hold the 8th position, after overtaking Famaka and Amundsen. Famaka and Amundsen have moved up to 9th place, surpassing Grinningjeb and Nolga 77, who are now in 10th place, overtaking Andrewick and Likhail Sti. Black Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29, 389 are on the move, steadily closing in on Captain Potato. However, the tables have turned as Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes has surged ahead to 16, overtaking Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29, 389. The battle for position continues with intense back and forth action. Koki Baninity and Plasma 280 have advanced to 20th place, surpassing the Man. The Man has now moved up to 21st place, overtaking Gary No Name. Raphael and Maya are swiftly catching up to Feds from No Name Racing, reducing the distance by 6.8 seconds. Andre H and El Pio SD have advanced to 13th place, making a move past Mama Hasta and Nukambokam. The latter duo now holds 14th place, passing Captain Potato. Until Captain Potato is now in 15th place after overtaking Feds from Team No Name Racing. Feds is on a roll, catching up to Sniku 515 and Paradox, decreasing the gap by 8.2 seconds. Keep an eye on this intense battle for position. Smokey75 Xbox and Amy are making gains on Feds, reducing the distance by 2.2 seconds. One serious guy has advanced to P21, overtaking Wayne Tr984 and Sir Ironbot. A tight race is ongoing between Serious Guy, Wayne Tr94, and Sir Ironbot for the 21st spot. Katsushuk and Sidrek make a move to 6th place, surpassing Neotexan and Okayoki 3. They're now locked in a tight battle for the 6th position. On the other hand, Airfile and Maya climb to 10th place, overtaking Kamikaze 30 D2A. Bobardo and Hugger 3 have advanced to 4th place, surpassing Air 40 and Susan Greenberg. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhop 29, 309 have climbed to 15th place, overtaking Snicker 515 and Paradox. Snicker 515 and Paradox have now taken 16th place, moving past Greninja and Naga 77. Rizaldi Adha, Wauxi B, Famaka, and Amunsan are locked in a tight battle for the 8th position. Rizaldi Adha, Wauxi B, Fameka, and Amunsan are currently engaged in a tight battle for the 8th position on the track. Rizaldi Adha holds on to 8th place as Wauxi B, Famaka, and Amunsan are fiercely competing for that position. It's a tight battle in the middle of the pack. Andrea Yik and Opayo SD in the Pagani Zonda are fiercely contesting P12, with Mama Husta and Nukambukem in the Ferrari 812 Superfast. The battle for the position is heating up as they navigate the twists and turns of the track. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 are putting the pressure on Pazishuk and Sidrek, reducing the distance by 2.1 seconds. Captain Potato is making a strong move, catching up to Andrzejek and Elpio SD by 6.6 seconds. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhawk 29, 389, are also on the move, closing in on Captain Potato, with a gap of 4.1 seconds. Snaku 515 and Paradox have advanced to the 15th position, successfully passing Greninja and Naga 77. On the other hand, Greninja and Naga 77 have climbed to 16th place, overtaking Captain Potato in the process. Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy have advanced to P-Team, surpassing Captain Potato in the standings. One-Serious Guy is making significant gains on Captain Potato, reducing the distance by 6 seconds. Kamikaze 38. In the Lamborghini Murcielago Civic is neck and neck with Mama Hasta and Nukembokam in the Ferrari 812, Superfast for the 11th position. It's a thrilling battle unfolding between these drivers as they navigate the track. Kamikaze 38. In a Lamborghini Murcielago, FV is fighting it out with Mama Hasta and Nukembokim in a Ferrari 812 Superfast for the 11th position. Meanwhile, Snako 515 Paradox and Ferrari Airfa 130 Scuderias are battling Greninja and Nolga 77 in Lamborghini Huracan Poofs for the 15th spot. The competition is heating up. Kamikaze 38 in the Lamborghini Murcielago. Sophie is dueling with Mama Hasta and Nukembokum in the Ferrari 812 Superfast for 11th place. Meanwhile, a tight battle for 12th is unfolding between Mama Hasta and Nukembokum in the Ferrari 812 Superfast and Andrzejek Lupio in the Pagani Zonda F Grinjib and Noga 77 have made a swift move to claim 15th position, overtaking Snickle 515 and Paradox. Kazishuk and Cydric are making a strong move towards Schultheises and Lacroisson 1980, reducing the gap by 14.4 seconds. Feds is gaining on Kamikaze 38, cutting the distance by 5.1 seconds. Duff Dad has impressively climbed to P2, overtaking Vavivek and Deplorable in the process. Neotexum and Okioki 3 are making a strong move, cutting a distance to Kazashuk and Seidrich by 32.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Wauxi B have jumped up to 8th place after passing Famaka and Amundsen. Mama Hosta and Ukembokem are making significant gains, closing in on Famaka and Amundsen, reducing the gap by 47 seconds. The man is also pushing hard, closing in on Kamikaze 38, with the gap now down to 58.5 seconds. Mama Hosta and Ukembokem continue to close in on Famaka and Amundsen, reducing the gap by 47 seconds. Garano Nay making moves as he climbs to 22nd place, overtaking Wazirius Guy. Feds driving the Pagani Zonda F is fiercely contending with Captain Potato in the Ferrari Fight Tributo for the 16th position. Bobado and Hugfree are catching up to Vavifek and Deplorably Apple, reducing the distance between them by 2.1 seconds. Feds in the Pagani Zonda F is closely contesting the 16th position with Captain Potato in the Ferrari Fight Tributo. Mamahasta and Ukembokim are gaining on Famaka and Amundsen, reducing the difference by 3.4 seconds. Captain Potato is on the move, leaping up to 16 by overtaking Feds. A tight duel between Captain Potato in a Ferrari Fight Tributo and Feds in a Pagani Zonda F for that 16th spot. Brininjeb and Naga 77 have advanced to 10th place, successfully passing Andreevik and the PIOSD in the process. Feds is on the move, gaining on Captain Potato by 31.6 seconds. Snickle 515 and Paradox advanced to P11, passing Rafael and Maidadat. Rafael and Maya climbed to P12, overtaking Mamahasta and Nukembokum. Rafael and Maya have made a strong move up to 11th place, successfully passing Saku 515 and Paradox in the process. The man is making gains on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, narrowing the lead by 3.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Gary No Name and Wazirius Guy are locked in a tight battle for the 22nd position, with Gary No Name in a Donkavort Date GTO and Wazirius Guy driving a Zenvo Stone. The man is steadily closing in on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the gap by 5.9 seconds. The competition for those positions is heating up. Captain Potato is making a strong move, advancing to 13th place by overtaking Andrei and Tayo SD. Meanwhile, Andrei and Apayo SD have climbed up to 14th position by surpassing Snooker 515 and Paradox in the race. Rafael and Maya have made a move up to 10th place, surpassing Grenajabe and Nalga 77 in a tight battle. Rafael and Maya are in a Pagani Huayra, while Grenajabe and Nalga 77 are in a Lamborghini Huracan Perf. Meanwhile, Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy are steadily catching up to Feds, reducing the distance by 4.2 seconds. Andrea and El Payo SD make a move to 13th place, passing Captain Potato. Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot advance to 20th place, overtaking the man. Andrea and El Payo SD are on the move, climbing up to 13th place as they overtake Captain Potato. Gary No Name is now in 22nd place after overtaking Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot. Koki Beninity and Plasma 280 are making a strong surge, catching up to Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap by 41.8 seconds. In the middle of the pack, the man and Gary No Name are engaged in a tight battle for the 21st position, with different cars, a Porsche 911 997 GTTORs, and a Donkavort Date GTO respectively. The chase is on. Grinning Jeb and Naga 77 are making moves, closing in on Arafel and Maya, reducing the gap by 3.8 seconds. Andreic and Theo Pio SD have advanced to 12th place, passing Greningjeeb and Naga 77. Wu Serious Guy from Team No Name Racing is gaining ground on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the distance by 2.8 seconds. The chase continues as the man reduces the gap on Wu Serious Guy by 3.9 seconds. Snico 515 and Paradox are showing impressive speed, closing in on Greningjeeb and Nalga 77 by massive 41 seconds. Greningjeeb and Nalga 77 are also making gains on Kamikaze 38, reducing the difference by 3.3 seconds. It's a tense battle as the drivers jockey for position on the track. Snico 515 in the Ferrari FR 130 Scuderia is closely fighting with Paradox for 16th place. Meanwhile, Captain Potato in the Ferrari Fight Tributo is also part of this intense battle. Bobardo and Hugged 3 are now in third place after overtaking Vavific and Deplorable. Meanwhile, Gary No Name has climbed to 20th place, surpassing the man. Waintra 94 and Sirianbot have made a significant move, climbing to P21 by overtaking Koki Binety and Plasma 280. Meanwhile, Duff Dad is steadily closing in on Air 40 and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 4.1 seconds. An exciting battle is shaping up between Koki Binety, Plasma 280, Waintra 94, and Sirianbot as they navigate the track. Schultheises and Lacroisson 1980 have advanced to P2, passing Duff Dan. Kasishuk and Cydric have climbed to power, overtaking Bobardo and Huggard 3. Mama Hasta and Newcombuckham have risen to Pen, surpassing A. Arafael and Maya. Kamikaze 38 now holds a 13th spot, after passing A. Rafael and Maya in quick succession. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 are making gains on Kazishuk and Cydric, narrowing the gap by 5.9 seconds. Meanwhile, Greningjeeb and Naga 77 are making a significant push, reducing the distance to Rafael and Maya by 45.1 seconds. The competition is heating up as Neotexum and Okayoki 3 continue to close in on Kazishuk and Cydric by 5.9 seconds. Mama Hasta and Nukembukum are making a strong push, catching up to Famaka and Amundsen, by reducing the gap by 54.2 seconds. Duff Dad has surged to second place, passing Schulteis and Lacrosse on 1980. Mama Hasta and Nukambakam continue to close in on Famaka and Amundsen, now just 54.2 seconds behind. Kavishuk and Seidrich are rapidly catching up to Schulteis and Lacrosse on 1980, decreasing the distance by 43.1 seconds. Quack 32 and Roadhog 29. 389 are rapidly gaining on Andravake and Lapile SD, shrinking the gap by 8.5 seconds. Duff Dad is making gains, narrowing the distance to R40 and Suzanne Greenberg by 2 seconds. Serious guys closing in on Wayne Trinity 4 and Siriron Bot, reducing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Rainier and Nalga 77 are fiercely contesting for the 15th position, both in Lamborghini Huracan perfs. Captain Potatoes in a Ferrari Fate Tributo, aiming to challenge their hold on the spot. AI Rafael and Maya are steadily gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the difference by 3.6 seconds. A fierce duel is unfolding for the 15th spot between Greninjab in a Lamborghini Huracan Perf, Knaga 77 in another Lamborghini Huracan Perf, and Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes in a Ferrari Fate Tributo. Captain Potato is now in 14th place, successfully passing Greninjab and Nalga 77. Greninjab and Nalga 77 have advanced to 15th place, overtaking Feds from Team No Name Racing. Meanwhile, Feds has climbed to 16th place, overtaking Snaku 515 and Paradox. Andreac and El Pio SD are making significant progress, steadily closing in on Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokem, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. The race for position is heating up as they approach. Rafael and Maya have surged to 12th place, overtaking Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29,389 in an impressive move. Captain Potato is making some serious moves, catching up to Greninger and Nalga 77 by reducing the gap by 26.9 seconds. The gap between Captain Potato and Kamikaze 38 from Team Wanga Midnight Runners is now down to 38.7 seconds. However, Greninger and Nalga 77 have surged ahead to take the 13th position, overtaking Captain Potato. The Core Express driver is gaining on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the distance by 15.9 seconds. Andrea and Lebhio SD are closing in on Famaka and Amundsen, with a 3-second gap decrease. Captain Potato has made a move up to P18, passing Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy. Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokem advanced to 10th place, surpassing Rafael and Maya.ie. Rafael and Maya now in 11th, overtaking Andreve in the Pio SD. The man is gaining ground on Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Feds is gaining ground on Andrevek and El Pio SD, closing the gap by 4.4 seconds. The man is catching up to Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy, reducing the gap by 4.3 seconds. Win Serious Guy from Team No Name Racing has advanced to P22, successfully passing Gary No Name. Koki Beninity and Plasma 280 have made a significant move forward, now at 24th position, after surpassing Gary No Name. Mama Hasta and Nukembuken in the Ferrari 812 Superfast are challenging at Rafael and Maya in the Pagani Huayra for the 10th position. Andreac, Alpio SD and Feds are fiercely competing for 13th place. Quack Daddy 2 and Roadhog 29,389 are chasing down Feds, decreasing the gap by 3 seconds. Snaku 515 and Paradox advanced to the 15th position, passing Kamikaze 8. Kamikaze 38 climbs to 16th, overtaking Feds in this intense race. Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy are gaining on Feds, closing the gap by 43.1 seconds. Andrake and El Payo SD have advanced to 12th place, passing Greninja and Nolga 77. The chase is on as Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy continue to close in on Feds. Davifek, Deplorably Apple, Short Isis, and La Croissant in 1980 are currently engaged in a competitive battle for the 4th position. Duff Dad now in P2, after passing Short Ice and La Croissant, 1980. Short Isis and La Croissant 1980 up to P3. Overtaking Lobardo and Huggard 3. Kazishok and Cedric have made an impressive move up to 4th place, overtaking Lobardo and Huggard 3 in a swift maneuver. Davifek and Deplorably Apple are on fire, catching up to Kazishok and Cydric by 33.6 seconds. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 are also making moves, closing in on Davifek and Deplorably Apple by 21.3 seconds. Lobardo and Hugger 3 have stormed into 4th place, overtaking Kazishok and Cydric. Greening Yep and Nalga 77 are making their move, narrowing the gap to Andreash and Lapile SD by 2.3 seconds. It's getting intense as they close in on the leading pack. Duff Dad is making a strong move, closing in on Air 40 and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 13.7 seconds. Rosalie Adha and Wauxi B are rapidly catching up to Neotexum and Okiyoki 3, reducing the gap by 33 seconds. The pressure is on as they work to close in on their competitors. Duff Dad is closing in on Bobardo and Huggard 3, reducing the gap by 27.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Feds is also making a strong move, closing the gap by 47.3 seconds on Greninja and Nalga 77. Excitingly, Bobardo and Huggard 3 have surged to 2nd place, overtaking Duff Dad. Vavifek and Deplorably Apple have surged to 3rd place by passing Duff Dad. Katishok and Cydric are gaining on Schulteis and Lacrosse in 1980, closing in by 3.1 seconds. Snooker 515 in the Ferrari FR 130 Scuderia is holding off Paradox for the 14th spot. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 in the Lamborghini Murcielago. Sevi is looking to make a move in this tight battle on the track. It's a close fight between these drivers as they navigate the course. Wunziri Sky is making significant strides, narrowing the distance to Wayne 394 and Sir Ironbot by 2.2 seconds. Snooker 515 in the Ferrari FR 130 Scuderia is closely tussling with Paradox for the 14th spot, keeping a close eye on Kamikaze 38 in the Lamborghini Murcielago 60. It's a tight contest back there. Kamikaze 38 is now in 14th place, after passing Sneaker 515 and Paradox. Captain Potato is making moves, reducing the distance to Sneaker 515 and Paradox by 2.1 seconds. Captain Potato from Racing Potatoes making a move, now in 15th place after overtaking Sneaker 515 and Paradox et al. Meanwhile, Serious Guys gaining ground on Wayne in Train 94 and Sir Ironbot, narrowing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Smokey 75 Xbox and Amy have advanced to 18th place, surpassing Sneaker 115 and Paradox in the process. Gary No Name is making a remarkable surge, catching up to his serious guy from Team No Name Racing and reducing the gap by a whopping 38.8 seconds. Greeninjep, Knalga 77, and Feds are fiercely competing for the 16th position. Greeninjep and Nalga 77 are navigating their Lamborghini Huracan Pervs, while Feds is maneuvering a Pagani Zonda F-Bot. Famaka and Amansan are catching up to Rizaldi Adha and Welk CB, reducing the gap by 4 seconds. Kamikaze 38 has climbed to 14, passing Captain Potato. Greeninjep and Nalga 77 are closing in on Captain Potato, lessening the gap by 3.9 seconds. Sneaker 515 and Paradox are making a strong push towards Captain Potato, reducing the gap by 10 seconds. Rizaldi Adha and Welk CB are also gaining ground on Neo Texan and Dokoyoki 3, narrowing the distance by 3.2 seconds. Feds is on the move, climbing up to 15 by overtaking Greninja and Nalga 77. Wunziri's Guy has advanced to P21, successfully passing both Waintra 94 and Siriron Bot in the latest turn of events. Feds is making a move on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Gary No Name is climbing up the ranks to P22, passing both Waintra 94 and Siriron Bot in the process. The man is closing in on Captain Potato, reducing the gap by 3.5 seconds. The man is making significant progress, catching up to Snaku 515 and Paradox with a 48.1 second reduction in the gap. At the back of the pack, Captain Potato has impressively climbed to P18, overtaking Snaku 515 and Paradox in a close battle. Captain Potato's Ferrari Fate Tributo is neck and neck with Snaku 515 and Paradox's Ferrari FIFA 130 Scuderia. Kamikaze 38 has skillfully advanced to 13th place, successfully passing both Cracktoday 2 and Roadhog 29,389 in the process. Feds is making a rapid move by catching up to Quackduddy 2 and Roadhog 29,389, reducing the gap by 48.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Smokey 75 Xbox and Amy are in hot pursuit of Greninja and Nolga 77, cutting the distance by 2.6 seconds. Serious Guy is closing in on the man, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Rafael and Maya are making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Androvic and El Pio SD by 6.2 seconds. The competition is heating up as they close in on their rivals. The man is now challenging Smirky 75 Xbox and Amy after closing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Andrejek and El Pio SD are making a strong move towards Famaka and Amundsen, reducing the gap by 53.4 seconds. The man is also gaining ground on Smoky 75, Xbox and Amy, closing in by 39.1 seconds. Andrejek and El Pio SD continue to close in on Famaka and Amundsen, with a significant 53.4 second reduction in the gap. Duff Dad advances to P2, passing Schulteis and Lacroixon 1980. Schulteis and Lacroixon 1980 climb to P3, overtaking Kazishuk and Cedric. Kazishuk and Cedric move up to Bauer, overtaking Bobardo and Hugrud 3. Neo Texum and Okayoki 3 are making gains on Kazishuk and Cedric, cutting the distance by 7.6 seconds. Andrejek and El Pio SD are rapidly closing in on Famaka and Amundsen, shrinking the lead by 56.9 seconds. Lavipek and Deplorably Apple have surged to 5, passing Kazishuk and Cedric. Duff Dad is closing in on Air 40 and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 3.6 seconds. Vavifek and Deplorably Apple are catching up to Bobardo and Huggard 3, closing in by 4.6 seconds. Mama Hasta and Nukembokem have surged to 9th place, overtaking at Irafael and Maya. Dekchoge Fadi. Kitasu. Rizaldi Adha and Walsiti B are gaining on Neo Texum and Okayoki 3, cutting the distance by 18 seconds. Vavik and Deplorable Apple are also catching up to Bobardo and Hugger 3, decreasing the gap by 4.8 seconds. The battle for positions is heating up as the race progresses. Bobardo, Hugger 3, and Duff Dad are fiercely battling for the second position. Kazishuk and Cedric have made a strong move to secure the 5th spot by overtaking Schulteises and Lacroixon 1980. Mama Hasta and Nukembokim are steadily gaining on Rizaldi Adha and Walksi B, narrowing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Smoky 75 Xbox and Amy are making impressive gains on Feds, cutting the lead by 50.1 seconds. Kazishuk, Cedric, Schulteises and Lacroixon 1980 are all locked in a fierce competition for the 5th position. Neo Texum and Okioki 3 are steadily catching up to Schulteis and Lacroixon 1980, reducing the distance by 3.4 seconds. Bobardo and Hugri are making significant gains on Air 40 and Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by a whopping 57.7 seconds. In another move, Fomaka and Amundsen have climbed to P19, overtaking the man. Kamikaze 38 continues to make an impressive push, catching up to Sniku 515 and Paradox, reducing the gap by 5.1 seconds. Famaka and Amundsen are also making gains, closing in on Snooki 75 Xbox and Amy by 2.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as these drivers jockey for position. Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot are making a move on Gary No Name, reducing the gap by 230 seconds. The competition is heating up. Naku 515 and Paradox have made a solid move, advancing to 14th position by overtaking Captain Potato. Fed said, "Hey Amy, is my turbo blown?" "Nope, your turbo is just dancing to its own beat." Feds has advanced to 15th place, surpassing Greninja and Naga 77 in the process. Serious Guy is closing in on the man, reducing the gap by 230 seconds. Vavifek, Deplorably Apple, Schulteis, and Lacrosse 1980 are currently fighting for the 4th position. Meanwhile, Gary No Name is on the move, catching up to Wayne 94 and Sir Ironbot by reducing the gap by 2.8 seconds. Vavifek, Deplorably Apple, Short Ice Ez, and Lacrosse 1980 are currently engaged in a tight battle for the 4th position. Short Ice, Lacrosse 1980, Vavifek, and Deplorably Apple are currently engaged in a tight battle for the 4th position. One serious guy is reeling in the man, closing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Gary No Name is putting the pressure on Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot, gaining ground with a 2.2 second reduction in the gap. Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot are locked in a tight battle with Gary No Name for the 22nd position. Wayne Trinity 4 and Sir Ironbot are piloting a Gambala Mirage GT, while Gary No Name is behind the wheel of a Donkavort Date GTO. Katsishok and Sidrek are making moves, advancing to 5 after overtaking Bavifek and Deplorable Apple. Katsishok, Sidrek, Bavifek, and Deplorable Apple are locked in a tight battle for the 5th position. Katsishok and Sidrek have advanced to 5th place, surpassing Vavifek and Deplorable Apple. There's a tight duel between Katsishok and Sidrek and Vavifek and Deplorable Apple for the 5th spot. Mama Hasta and Ukembokim are rapidly catching up to Rizaldi Adha and Walksy B, reducing the difference by 3.5 seconds. Andreak and LPOSD are making gains on Mama Hasta and Nukembokan, reducing the gap by 3.4 seconds. Sync with 515, and Paradox are currently in a tight battle for 13th place, with their Ferrari FR 130 Scuderia up against Kamikaze 38's Lamborghini Murcielago 15. Brenin Jep, Knalga 77, and Captain Potato are fiercely competing for 16th place, with Greninjub and Nalga 77 driving a Lamborghini Huracan Perf, and Captain Potato behind the wheel of a Ferrari Fate Tributo. Welcome back to the channel, Castle Rat. It's great to have you back for some more AI race car action. Let's see how automated races are doing today. Kamikaze 38 is on a rampage, closing in on Quack Daddy 2 and Road Hub 29, 389, by an impressive 43 seconds. Meanwhile, Schult Isis and La Croissant 1980 have charged to the 3rd position after overtaking Duffdad. Ayarvale and Maya are climbing steadily, now sitting at 10th place after passing Mama Hasta and Nukembokim. Welcome back, Edelball. Great to have you back in the race car spectating crew. Let's enjoy some high-speed action together. Schultheis and Le Croissant 1980 make a move to P2, surpassing Duffdad. Duffdad from Team Lev for Speed advances to P3, overtaking Katsishok and Sidrek. Katsishok and Sidrek climb to VAR, overtaking Bobardo and Huggard 3. Kasishuk and Sidrak are on the move, catching up to Vavifek and deplorably Apple by 28 seconds. Famika and Amundsen are gaining ground on Smokey 75, Xbox and Amy, reducing the gap by 5:30 seconds. Kasishuk and Sidrak are making significant progress, closing in on Vavifek and deplorably Apple by 28 seconds. Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokum are pushing hard, climbing to 9th place by overtaking Andrew Vake and Lipias D2. Bobardo and Huggard 3 are really putting the pressure on Duff Dad, shrinking the gap by 3.8 seconds. The chase is on. Rizaldi Ada and Walksabi have made impressive progress, catching up to Neotexum and Okayoki 3 by closing the gap by 33 seconds. Bobardo and Huggard 3 have smoothly moved up to P2 after overtaking Duffdad. The duo of Rizaldi Ada and Walksabi are continuing to close in on Neotexum and Okayoki 3, maintaining pressure with a gap reduction of 33 seconds. Kamikaze 38 is making a significant move, catching up to Andre Wake and Tayo SD, reducing the gap by 59.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Mama Hasta and Nukem Bokum are making gains on Rizaldi Adha and Welksy B, closing in by 4.8 seconds. The race is heating up as Kamikaze 38 continues to close in on Andre Wake and El Paya SD, now at a gap of 59.8 seconds. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 are making significant gains on Schultheises and Lacroixon 1980, reducing the gap by 63 seconds. Smirky 75, Xbox and Amy are rapidly closing in on Snakoof 115, and Paradox, with the gap shrinking by 44.5 seconds. Neotexum and Okayoki 3 continue to reel in Schultheises and Lacroixon 1980, now just 63 seconds behind. Brainy Jeb and Nalga 77 have advanced to the 15th position, surpassing Captain Potato in the process. Sniku 515 and Paradox are putting on a strong performance, closing in on Captain Potato with a 4-second reduction in the gap. But door. Sneeko 515 and Paradox are making some moves, advancing to 16 by overtaking Captain Potato.